Call the law enforcement committee meeting to order. Everybody got a copy of the minutes if you have time to review it. We have a motion.
Motion approved.
Motion second. Any discussion? All in favor? Anybody for public comment of anything on the agenda? See no public comment. We'll move on to sheriff's report. I think, Chief Hal's gonna
Started off.
start it off.
The first thing we've got is a, budget amendment for medical. We have paid for current month we're in. This is gonna get us another month. We had a meeting scheduled. I know we mentioned last month with Vanderbilt, that meeting was canceled by Vanderbilt, pushed back into May at their request.
May 20.
May the 20th. And I can tell you that we, our medical provider did provide them with a lot of documentation they had requested, by other providers across the state of Tennessee. So that's been provided to them, so I'm assuming they're looking at that. I provided them with documents, that, I'll give you just a quick rundown, Sheriff, if you don't mind. They want to know what had been paid out of county's budget for medical expenses, so I went back on the county, closeout reports for 2021. We had $2.1 million in medical, and that was all across the board. That was our local inpatient, outpatient. 21-22, 1.549, so $1,549,000. 22-23, $2,066,000. And then in 23-24, when the rates increased, for the first 6 months of this current fiscal year, we're at 2.153 million. So that just gives you a little tidbit of sort of where we worked through COVID all the way up to current year. And we've had this more in the first 6 months of this fiscal year than we had in any of the past 3 years. So just want to provide you with that information.
Can I ask the question? That this is medical bills?
This is medical, our local service provider. Yes,
It's all inclusive, everything.
that's everything that the jail would pay out medically related. So that's our own nurses, our own staff, our own pharmacy, our
Okay.
own in-house.
So you got
everything.
nurses there. That's what I was gonna say. Might need our doctor.
You got them.
We got a doctor. Where the costs are coming in is when we have to send somebody to the emergency room or
Oh,
stuff that would be chronic care and stuff like that. So just want to give y'all that
And
information.
saying that, I mean, that our inmate population has risen. The building, they will come. But in saying that, help dreams, fellas.
Wait a minute, back on the budget.
It's, just like today, and I can't go into real depth, they come, but the old military come to me. And we had one in the hospital that went in yesterday in liver failure.
Hmm.
And yes, we got him out this morning. We got the judge, we worked with the judges, we're doing everything we can do for the ones that we can get out. And I'm not just releasing everybody, okay? I can't. But in saying that,
I was gonna say
this was a minor charge on this one this morning. And intensive care liver failure. And if we hadn't, that would have been paying hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Medical for a moment.
That'd be more into this. But if somebody's in there for, this was a failure to appear on a suspended driver's license. So that's what's coming in our bill.
And that's our total cost, because that's not stated.
That's correct. So I mean, I just want everybody to know, we're doing our best to get everybody out. But in saying that, they're coming in sicker than I've ever seen one. So, like,
So we're asking for, just to get us through to the 1st of June, and hopefully we can have a meeting and, talk with a couple of different people outside there. We're gonna diligently start looking at a couple other options. And, we're asking for just to get us through this next month, and, hopefully we'll have an idea where we're gonna be at on medical bills with Vanderbilt. And I can tell you they're adding up. So at some point, we're gonna come back and ask for that money, but we're, just this next month, we're asking for $195,000.
And we're waiting, we're looking right now to see, we're going month to month. We're looking to see where our entire budget sits next month. See how much money's left in our entire budget. Maybe it'll put a big cushion in what this medical bill's around, I would hope. So that's what we're sort of going month to month.
This is probably a bad way since Betty Wilson's sitting in Wilson County, but can we go to another hospital?
That's what the diligent look's gonna be.
But we we are in discussions and we will be moving. Well, it's wait and see, but yes.
But part of the issue too is that doesn't resolve if they're sent out somewhere else anyway.
You still want medical.
You still have medical,
you
I
got-
mean,
But
They might be cheaper.
well, what I'm saying is if they go to, TriStar Hospital, but then they're transferred over to somewhere else that we don't have an agreement with,
Right.
that's been
that's,
some of the
I
issue.
mean, yes.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion, second, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
The only thing we have is Sheriff, go ahead.
Is that what we're doing? We're going to get
It's,
Our new chairman.
Yes, sir.
Are you ready, Chairman? The needs are listed there in front of you. Thank you, sir. As everyone knows, y'all built was kind enough and, the new facility is up and running. They're real close to, having 3 pods ready within the next 2 to 3 months, 2 months, I would say, to open up. And for the past, during all this construction, the discussion about, staffing this facility, for the future and we wasn't really at that point up until now. And like I said, but we're asking for 15 extra correctional officers, just to, staff that facility properly. Now, in saying that, are we gonna fill that facility up come July 1st? No. It's same. But to staff it, if it was full today, it would have 15 more. So, that's a need, that's a discussion we have to have. And, we'll go from there. But as I said, right now, you would have to be full in July 1st for us to see that.
It's kind of a liability though, isn't it?
But you gotta understand the entire facility ain't gonna be opened up. It's sections of the building that will be opened up, not all of it. But if every section was open, yes, it would be. I'm gonna let you do that next.
The second one is, intelligence analyst, and we currently have one in the building, and we're asking to add one for the narcotics division. As all these new technologies are coming out, it would be a great benefit to have that person. It would pay for itself because it gives that person the ability to do a lot of research and background stuff on investigative cases. We're getting into a lot of bigger investigations. We have got into some investigations on the state and the federal level. And so just about every agency around us has these analysts, or I'll call them a souped up secretary, but it's a secretary line, but that would be their primary function. Research, intelligence gathering, putting together case studies. When you get into a lot of federal investigations, you get into a lot of different investigative techniques. So that would be that. The next one is an adjustment from an existing position, from a sergeant to a lieutenant, for the court division. Right now, it is, court division is gonna start growing, and I know y'all will be looking at probably a facility coming down the road. So we're asking to make that adjustment. The next one is a secretary adjustment line for additional job duties. That is a small increase, and what we're looking at on that one is our office has currently 309 positions. We take care of all of our HR staff. We take care of all the hiring, all the paperwork, all the processing, all the payroll. So we're asking to adjust that person's salary and bump that up. And then lastly is a deputy corporal, and I'm gonna explain that and then I'll pass it off to Commissioner Kurtz. But we currently have a canine officer, and the canine officer is currently at Lebanon Special School District. They're paying for that position.
Y'all met the dog last month.
Blaze. And so we're wanting to promote him to a corporal, and there's possibility that there's gonna be some additional, definitely you've got additional duties, but there's gonna be some additional dogs maybe coming down the pipe. And so we're looking to go ahead and get him bumped up to a corporal, a rank of a position for that, and have supervision. And then Lebanon Special School District's also giving him some special duties. So they're gonna reimburse us for this cost, so this would be a washout on that. If you were to entertain approving that. And then lastly, law enforcement equipment. Last year, y'all allowed us, we paid out the drug fund to get body cams. And this would outfit the rest of SROs with body cams and replace all of our failing in-car cameras, which is almost 15 years old. That first year cost is reoccurring. I talked to Director Maynard about putting it into this line and, or go ahead and putting it into the needs, but y'all were gracious enough to buy our patrol cars. So really, we don't have a need to take our continuing money for that. So what I would ask you to do, and I think the sheriff's was on board with after we talked with Director Maynard, if you would allow us to leave the money in for the vehicle line, we would move it over to this line, and it would pretty much wash out these costs over the next 3 or 4 years. I do have a breakdown sheet. I didn't include it, but first year is the 414, the second, third, and fourth year is 407,000. So we've stuck it in needs, but if y'all decide to say, yeah, we'll leave that money in the vehicle purchase line, then we could pay for it out of that, and it wouldn't be a need, it would be extra money. And so,
And I brought it up last time, our system, our car system's obsolete. It's just obsolete right now. And we're putting Band-Aids on it, and I think I've had that conversation in this meeting before. But in saying that, as the ones y'all allowed us to put on our deputies before was just patrol officers, out on the street. As of right now, no school resource officers have body cameras, and they're interacting with a lot of people in these schools, and it's important. They should have them too. And again, the in-car camera is important too. And I mentioned the last time, I believe it was the thing in Blount County. That's a prime example where you need to have the best equipment. And I think Mr. Chandler, I'm sorry, but they've got the same equipment that we're asking. Is that right?
Yep. I
And
feel sorry for you guys because the cameras you got are all our old cameras.
some of what
we're using their old cameras. So, but we're big enough, and listen, it's not about keeping, it is about, it's protecting our deputy. That's what it's all about. Because as we said before, people make these false claims all the time and pop that camera and look at it, and it protects our officers, especially in today's world we're living in. And it's a true need.
Is the 414 already in there?
No, it's not, but it is. If we won't be using the money to buy the cars that we annually put into that line. So, but if y'all totally exhaust that line from us, we won't have any money to replace the
So
technical
that's
cars.
recurring.
So we could use that money
To the next 3 or 4 years.
3 or 4 years to pay for this, and then
What about your detective cars?
I'm gonna need a couple in the next few years.
Yeah.
I've have some drug fund money that I can buy some, but I usually buy the drug fund for the drug fund. We typically replace a detective car once a year, so we're at that point. We would have a detective car to replace this next year.
What do you need to ensure they have quality vehicles and get like?
Again, if y'all were to fund the money and leave that into the vehicle line, Director Maynard said we could, if y'all approve this, we could take it off of needs, it would come off of the new money, and we could just use that status quo money that's already there. Since you've already bought our cars, we've got 20 of the brand new cars already in, they're sitting here at 11, so.
So I
Just
make,
over $1 million.
sorry.
Mhm.
I was gonna make a motion on what he just said.
Well,
Second.
And don't think we're gonna buy a bunch of detective cars.
No,
You know,
no,
They got cars.
Yeah,
What you're saying is make a motion to leave that in the status quo budget, take it off the needs list, but leave that, vehicle line, move that vehicle line item over to the 716.
and I'm sure that's gonna have to go to budget, but yes, yeah.
We gotta continue to invest in y'all. Got to. We're investing in our people. Lebanon's investing in their people. Other agencies are having to do the same. Eventually, if we don't, we're gonna get to a point where we don't have deputies on the street. The jailers in the jail. We're really gonna have a problem. We gotta continue to invest. Got to.
And, knowing that you served from Old Hickory to Cottage Homes, I'm gonna be willing, there's people in this room that have never been to Cottage Homes. And, if you've never been to Cottage Homes, it takes a while from here to get there. So, sometimes this may be our only clues to be able to put stuff together. And I don't wanna sound so negative, but it's a long way out there.
Anybody do
Right.
it yourself?
Remember?
Amen. For
You talk,
the accident.
we take the 414 off.
Oh, yes, that is correct. And Lebanon Special School Districts, back to this, and take that on.
Reimbursement.
So do you need a vote on this to go to budget?
Yeah, I think we have
No,
We have
that was just,
he made a motion.
he made a motion to, for that reoccurring 414,000, but do you need a motion for all of this?
Well, I think we can take
Take care of the first month.
care of the first motion.
I
Then
second
it'll,
that one.
because it takes us, that off needs.
I second that one.
And the first motion is to leave our status quo money in the
Not
line.
with
which
one
is
motion at a time.
Four,
Do one.
it's 449 total.
Yeah.
And that'll help us buy that one vehicle and cover this too, each year.
Can you just summarize what we said?
No, because y'all been all over the doggone line.
So
That's what I try and get you to do.
I think Commissioner Chandler's motion was to leave the status quo budget, and leave that, recurring money in that line item for the vehicles
Right. And take that off of the needs
and
assessment.
take that off of needs.
And Chris seconds.
Correct.
Y'all need to vote on that and go to the next.
Correct. Any more discussion? Yes.
We're just voting on these two items, or that right there.
Just that will be.
Just that. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Now, whatever's next.
Now, the needs assessment less the 414.
Make a motion.
So I got a question.
Can we get a
Get a
motion?
second.
He did. Got a
Well,
motion.
Second?
I'll second it.
He said, James.
On this, Sheriff, you're talking about the 15 people, you're saying you don't really need them right now, is that right, or wrong?
I'm saying I need that many to open up the facility fully when it's fully staffed, when it's fully occupied.
So you're just waiting on the prisoner to go, right? That's what you're saying, like.
Yeah, but we're looking at the high right now because, and I wish somebody had asked me the question, how many openings I have right now, Tommy Jones. Right now.
Sheriff, how many
How
openings
many
you
they
did?
got?
As of today, we got 10 open
Correction?
in corrections.
That'd be 25 hires.
I've always been open. And I can leave it at 15, or I hate to throw my cards on the table, but it,
Obviously needed, you wouldn't ask for them, I just didn't.
Well, it might take that long.
Well, I
it
think,
might take that
but I
long.
think
It might take all
originally
year to
though-
get 'em.
May not.
Yeah,
when we were originally looking at opening that facility, I know the number was put out 30, 35, and then the last I heard was 28. and we hired
We've
five
hired five,
for the new facility.
that's two.
So, and we always said we're gonna pass it to the next budget, pass it to the next budget. My,
And
My
last
recommendation-
last year I was down, what was it, Tom? You asked me, 13, 14?
is
So you
for
get-
our committee to pass it on the budget, and then the budget can whittle that down, if they wanna whittle that down, take the exact number of
Yeah.
Yeah.
positions.
Like my standpoint though is can't hire the 10. Why are we gonna add the 15? Right? But I see the situation and you can't hire the 10 because they're not paid. They go to Chick-fil-A and make more money. Less stress. They don't have urine or feces thrown on.
Second.
You know, and I know what our officers are gonna be paid in July. I know what other agencies are paying their cops. It all trickles down. I can't hire dispatchers because they're paid the same as our corrections officers. There's a price point you can't pay, and you can't get them hired. Can't, if Lebanon achieves their raises like we do, if Mount Juliet achieves the raises like we're gonna achieve, THP and Metro get theirs and Gallatin gets theirs.
She's reading Metro already got it.
Yeah.
Well, to add, just to add to your point, if you let me, I did a call to, two agencies.
Yeah.
Our neighboring agency, Sumter County, is paying 51,000 for a corrections officer.
Yeah.
Where we're paying 39,000,
Mm-hmm.
and Rutherford County is paying $46,600.
Yeah.
So-
And I get and I bring this up all the time too, because we can talk county culture all day long, where people want to work where they live, that type of thing, but people also got to make enough to have a living and support their families.
Right.
From my personal standpoint, I hate it when I don't have police officers that can afford to live in the town they serve to protect. You know, that makes no sense. They have to live in Bethpage, or Murfreesboro.
I said
So they
they
can
got banned from the
afford
radio. So
And their kids don't get to go to our schools. Sure. That we work so hard to protect, or live in the city that we work so hard to protect. And man, I can see it on the horizon. If we don't invest in our employees countywide, obviously it affects what we're talking about today with the corrections. We are really gonna be hurt. Really gonna be hurt.
And I know y'all have asked in the past, I'll let keep you all updated about how behind we are ahead. And I know 3 months ago, we're down 2-3-0,
Right.
and now we're here, we're back at
Get back at it.
because they get in there and see what the job.
What's your patrol turnover? How many of those have come out to go to patrol and out of the jail, have those?
The majority of the ones we've done the past 2-3 years have come out of the jail. And, that was their jump. And
But are we having patrol turnover?
not really, not really. It's doing,
But we
we
will.
have no opening right now.
We will be, right?
But like with dispatching, is you can't pay your dispatchers more than your cops, right? You can't pay your jailers more than your deputies.
Right.
That work the road.
That's
So
correct.
it's, if you can't hire for your bottom line because you're not paid that certain price point to live on, everyone is just increase, it trickles up. It trickles up. I know all the faces behind there are probably wincing because where's the money at? But at some point, we gotta really take a hard look at what we pay our employees because it affects public safety. It is today. It is today. It affects our teachers. We just gotta take a real hard look. Anyway, that's my soapbox, but I don't think, we can't hire for 10. I don't see why we need to add 15.
Sure.
I think we gotta fix the problem first, which is their pay, and then let's focus on staffing that jail.
That's it.
Real quick, what are y'all looking at top out?
For an officer, 86.
Just want everybody to hear that.
What is your idea of where you gonna put your officers and correction officers pay wise?
We'll defer to the sheriff unless.
Well, I just look at these other agencies, we're competing, okay? We're competing. We're not only competing with these, other agencies, we're competing with the private sector. I've had correctional officers that we've lost, that left. They didn't go to another jail, they went to private service. One of them was road commission. They're going wherever the money's at. And listen, I can't blame them. I can't. Anytime somebody wants to better themselves, I'm all for it. I hate to lose them, because I'm losing good employees. I will say that. But we've gotta be competitive, okay? And that's, we ask where we need to be, we need to be competitive.
So I'm gonna steal one out from, Mr. Marlowe, since he hadn't mentioned it in a while. He's still.
No.
But, you know, we've turned down opportunities to increase some revenues, our, facilities tax.
They have to.
And I've said this before on the commission floor, that at some point, we're gonna have to look at other revenue alternatives, and I'll say property tax increase, so no one else has to say it. You know, what's coming on the horizon with, you know, school safety builds and the changes that are coming that we have to follow now under the new laws is gonna dramatically increase the cost of building a school. We're gonna have county school at Central Pike and, middle school at LaGuardia that'll need to come up. Criminal, court building that we're looking at constructing. And we gotta take care of our employees. And we have very limited ways to increase revenue. And I know that's not a popular thing, and some people would even bring it up because I know not everybody's for it, and I get that. But at the end of the day, if we can't protect our people, and I'm telling you, people are, we just completed a study in the last 3 years in the area that our school district serves, we've constructed more homes in 3 years than we did the last decade. In those 3 years, we built more homes than they existed in that area in 1977. You know, those are huge numbers to think about, and what's coming.
They will get more money off the city than they gonna build a house.
I got a question. When he was talking about, you said 86,000 when y'all was pop out
No, that's what we're gonna shoot for.
shooting for. So what are they now?
Separate.
So what's like Lebanon's top out, matter of fact now? The city of Lebanon, what's their top?
William, what is it? What's a top out mean? What's your definition? So a number of years,
5 years.
at 5 years, you're topped out at.
Down to 7. For patrol officer. Is right now.
I know what Lebanon was when I was there, and it was 63. The police department
Yeah,
was
that's right now.
63. That's 2 years ago, though.
The firefighter tops out at 71 now.
Ours is under the 60 at
Nice.
5.
1998 was 38,000, was, you know, was a starting salary in the sheriff's office, the patrol. I think it was like 14 something an hour.
Yeah, trooper tops out at 96.
And they deserve it.
Metro tops out at 85.
Well,
Franklin tops out at 80.
the crazy part, even the forester makes more money than y'all.
But all these agencies that make more money, they're getting COBRAs. I think Metro's on the books for their negotiations for 70%. Lebanon, I think, are trying to negotiate something to come in the loss government budget to get dollars back up. A lot of agencies are hurting when they're looking at it. It's a lot of the salary issues. You can have a good culture all day long, but again, if you can't afford to live, but you can go over here and look what they're doing.
And all we're looking at is a one-step bump on the bump, which is adequates to about 2%.
Yeah, that's crazy. And the generation you deal with today too, right? And they're looking at it, you know, it's not the days like a lot of us sitting around the table, you know, and y'all go further generations back than I do. We just love each other. I'll get it.
Yeah, look at that.
Not really, he's still kind of young.
Look at that way right there.
He's still kind of young, but
That's about 20 generations.
But it's,
I just sit here listening to y'all, all these problems and you
ain't
ain't gonna get none on tonight. We're gonna be here all night.
Hey, we gotta bring them out sometime.
You gonna fix them tonight?
Well,
I know Chief.
if we don't talk about them,
Chief Deputy Howell and I have had a conversation that when the pay study is going on, there are other counties, cities, whatever you want to say, they're sitting there just waiting to see where we land. So they make sure that they go above. So this is a game that we're all playing. You're all in a cycle. You're gonna every city, county, whatever is gonna reevaluate, or in our case now, every 2 years. Y'all are not stuck. You're free to give raises over and above the step. So if you choose to give a raise over and above the step, that is your right.
yeah, and I get the argument that, you know, agencies go up and this type of stuff, but I'm seeing a trend where we continue to be down so much beyond the other steps that these other agencies are getting. And if we continue to be so far behind, what's it gonna take to catch up?
I'll add a little bit to that. That's not necessarily true. And I'll try to do a study for you before the commission meeting of the money that you have approved as a county commission that raised salaries over the past 6 years. It's been an enormous amount of money. It still ain't there where you want it. And in the different places that we are, but, and the 2% that you said, hey, look, that's not nothing. I understand that. We used to get nothing. I mean, we used to say, let's give you some benefits. You know, at least now you got to where you say, I'm gonna get that 2%. And that 2% is just a base. You guys can do whatever you want to do. You can give them 6, 10, 15. But I mean, the 2% is at least something that we didn't have to go ask for, because we used to have to ask for it and we'd get nothing. So, I mean,
And respectfully, I completely disagree, but especially when cost of living goes up so much year after year. And we're never get where we need to be as a county and our employees. We see it from our teachers. We see it from, you know, our deputies out there, other county employees that we have. And I just have to respectfully disagree there.
disagree with what? That they haven't given any money?
No, I agree there.
Well,
But
that's
but
all I
it's not, what I disagree in is the adequacy of what we are giving. We're giving something, but it's nowhere near enough of where it should be.
Well, I think we said that, well, I know I did, I turned around and I was fussing with, I don't know, I think it was
Probably
Diane.
Diane.
Yeah, Diane, cause she won't be quiet, but, I was fussing with her one time when we turn around and we give those raises. And I said, cost of living is this, we're still behind one.
Right.
You know, you'll never catch up staying one down.
Yeah.
So I said, well, if we're gonna get shot, we might as well just go for it all right now.
Right.
And been done with it and just take our bullet and move on, but we didn't. We did what we did.
Yeah.
And it's nobody's fault, you
No.
know, I'm not saying that.
But I get the situation we're in,
Right.
but it's at some point, we're gonna have to make a hard decision,
Yeah.
Amen.
well,
you know?
to make, Attorney Jennings' position, if we can move on and.
I get it.
Up to y'all, I'm listening.
But here's the thing, Tennessee is, they're done. They got beat, so.
So I think we, I think we have a motion and a second for the,
Approve the needs.
to approve the needs,
Minus the 414.
minus and, the discussion that we had during this time centered around the 15 positions. Do we have a motion to amend that, or are we just going to?
Wait a minute, it was one more deduction too, and
Yeah,
that was
one
the, yeah, it was on the special school.
It's still gotta stay.
Yeah,
It's still gotta stay in there, it's a
Okay.
wash.
Okay.
So I make a motion to reduce the 15 to 5 on the corrections deputies. And then,
I think you made the original
what's
motion.
your original?
No, you go ahead, because I don't
I can't remember what you done, did you?
make your, but I didn't really make the motion, I just asked.
I got you. So I make that motion to reduce that.
I take that back, I think we did make a motion.
There was a motion and a second,
It
I
was.
think you made the
I
original.
made the second, and, Chris made the motion.
Chris, make a motion.
Yeah, yes.
Okay, I'll put down what I made. So,
Do you accept, I think would be the proper. way
Yes, yes.
To just amend that original motion, can we do that?
Sure.
I make the motion that we amend the,
The figures did.
okay.
Okay.
Second.
He accepted it.
I wanna make sure what I'm seconding on now, cause you're saying you wanna reduce it to 5, but I don't wanna jeopardize what they're asking for.
Let's, please. 5, 10, whatever, okay? But understand, when it comes time that I need more employees, I'm gonna come before this committee, no matter if it's in the middle of the year or what, and ask for it.
Yeah.
And I respectfully ask for that to be in the minutes. And listen, I agree, I understand, I agree with what you're saying, all of it. Because I said a while ago, are we ready for every one of these 15 people? No, okay, I'm sitting here telling you. But understand that point where need to have more staff, I'm gonna come before this committee and this commission. And I ask for the employees that I need.
I think that's
I don't think you'll.
But you need them now, though, I mean, you want. them.
The
Or you wanna
5
ask
the
them.
5 would help me, yes. Sure do. As long as we're under that understanding.
We have a motion. We've amended the motion, so we can just vote on that and we're good, right?
He's through a discussion. We accepted it.
Yes, he accepted the amendment.
Can I ask a question?
So a motion and a second. And, yes,
I just have a question before you vote. So if you amend this down to 5 and he comes back like in January and says, okay, I need 10 more, how are we gonna fund that? Okay, so we're gonna need general fund for recurring
we're gonna take out.
positions.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I don't know if you're gonna get very far on that one.
So we
I just
got
wanted to double check because we don't normally fund recurring bigger expenditures like this.
we got a motion and a second.
That's
Okay.
the discussion.
All in discussion.
And it's still,
Do you still have no?
I would rather do 10 versus 5, because even if he can't hire it at the end of the year, the money's still gonna come back to the county. I'd rather go ahead and budget it now.
I'll just my.
She already got a motion. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Amended again.
We get the pay up where it needs to be.
Yeah.
It's no, we can deal with not either than 10.
Original.
I said the motion. Or the amended.
All right, the amended motion is the needs list. 10 employees, 10 new correction officers, minus the 414. We have a motion, we have a second. That's all the discussion. All in favor? Anything else? Sheriff?
Motion to adjourn.
You going? Is there a meeting again tonight?